Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you have to be listening to. You need to be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and notify bell. We're also on the Patreon, which is where we get the questions from.
Yeah, that's right.
For this here Matt Chat show. The $20 a month mark. You too can send in your video questions or text questions, and then we will answer it right here directly on a Matt Chat.
That's right.
Let's dive right into it, Larson.
Got a question first from a dinosaur. See what the raptor has to say.
The Raptor.
Greetings, Stephen Alison Raptor here, and I'm wondering, do you think that WWE will ever enjoy being a wrestling company again? You know, putting on the graps, having a good time with the matches. Because they seem to have a passive-aggressive relationship with wrestling, and it's sort of impeding my enjoyment of the product. Does Vince get to see them embrace the grapples again? Or will we have to die for the WWE to finally change?
Thank you, the raptor.
Thank you, the Raptor. Larson, why don't you go ahead and go for? Let's break from tradition. You go
right,
first.
Fair enough. I think what the Raptors...
What's the general premise of the question?
I think what the Raptors getting at is that WWE, the product doesn't seem like fun. Like, they don't embrace...
It's a bit abstract, isn't it?
Oh, totally. They don't seem to, well, at certain points they do embrace the ridiculousness of pro wrestling, but they'll do silly, ridiculous things, but they don't call themselves pro wrestling. They call it sports entertainment.
Yeah.
It's like I think him saying passive aggressive about it is like they indulge in a lot of the common tropes and the usual, on occasion, silliness of pro wrestling without fully embracing what they are, which is pro wrestling. They want to call it sports entertainment. They want to have Tyson Fury show up, and have a one-off, try to appeal to a larger mainstream audience rather than just being maybe true to themselves.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And given the corporate structure now, it's a publicly traded company. It's just not as simple as one person. I mean, it is. In a lot of cases, this is Vince, what he wants to do. But he's got people, shareholders, a board that he's got to keep happy. And so the bottom line is not putting forth the best product on a weekly basis. It's making sure the bottom line is where it needs to be. So all the shareholders and the board is happy, so he doesn't get voted out.
Yeah.
But here, hold on. Now you'd think quality product would lead to improved bottom line. At least, like any creative endeavor, usually if it's good, it does better.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. We've seen plenty of movies that are absolute crap, make a crap ton of money for whatever reason. That strikes something in popular culture. Like Avatar. What a snooze fest that was. Made a ton of money.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Don't know why. Just did. There's a lot of hype behind it. Roundabout way of saying, I think there's a really entrenched corporate structure there. The talents aren't given the freedom to do what they want to do as often as they are. Say it seems to be in AEW, where Mox comes in and he's like, and they tell him, just do what you want. Even NXT, where they seem like the competitors there, the talents there have more freedom. That still doesn't feel as fun as AEW does.
That I kind of disagree with. I think NXT. I think NXT and AEW are kind of on the same level there. I mean, everybody seems to love working there.
Yeah, everybody seems to love working there, but I don't know if that necessarily translates to look how much fun we're having. I think you can thoroughly enjoy working at a situation. You can have fun doing your job, but not necessarily have it translate. Like AEW is like everybody else. Everybody in that entire building is having an absolute blast. Part of that is the crowd feeding off the talents and vice versa. There's an energy about AEW that is different than NXT.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with you on that one, but I do agree with your overall philosophy. I think that it's not necessarily. I think Vince McMahon's booking philosophy, his philosophy on wrestling in general, is so it's so counterproductive to the wrestlers feeling like they can ply their trade in a creatively satisfying fashion. And granted, we enjoyed the Hell in a Cell outcome. However, for example, Sean Ross Sapp was saying that he was getting all sorts of feedback from wrestlers up and down the chain after that, and it was just one of confusion and frustration. When the guy who's creatively in charge is historically known for booking on a whim without a long-term plan, things can change at the drop of a hat. You don't know what you're going to be getting yourself into when you walk in day to day. Am I going to be pushed to the top of the card? Is that push going to be sustained? Am I going to be buried? Am I going to be in a cuck angle one week and then just be off TV the next week? That has got to be super frustrating. I would think Vince is such a unique character that I would find it difficult to believe that kind of philosophy would remain after he leaves. And if you have somebody like Triple H in charge, or Stephanie, or Bruce Pritchard, or whomever, Paul Heyman, whoever steps in and is in complete control of what's going on. And maybe right now, with the draft being done with, maybe we'll see a change in philosophy if Vince wants to, completely hand the reins over to Paul Heyman. Maybe we'll see a change. Maybe we'll see something different. We've seen, guys like Bob Roode, who is firmly in the loser locker room. He was a tag champion. Him and Dolph Ziggler, I hope, do really cool things on SmackDown as a tag team. Maybe we'll see a change. But honestly, I just think that because Vince McMahon, that one person, has such a wonky view on what wrestling should be, and sometimes he hits, but sometimes it just seems like people are really frustrated to have to deal with that stuff. And you mentioned Moxley, and you're exactly right. Dean Ambrose, that character, was micromanaged to within an inch of itself, to the point where he just left. And look at, like you said, look at how much energy and enthusiasm he brings to his role in AEW, or if he's in New Japan. So, I think that that'll change once Vince is gone. But yeah, I think it all boils down to that.
Yeah, it all comes down to Vince in the very end.
if you look at, no, well, that's good. That's good. I was gonna compare it to like another sport like the NBA, where there is absolutely a corporate structure in place for most NBA teams. But a lot of those guys, they're just out there having a good time. The guys that are coached well and coached to their strengths, you see teams out there having a good time playing ball. You see some miserable teams.
Yeah, usually the ones that are losing.
Exactly. Winning changes everything.
Yeah, winning cures a lot of ills.
It does.
Next question from Rich.
Friendo's Wrist of Smash Bro here, currently watching the live stream, and I had a question. With Chris Jericho being involved with the WWE for just under 20 years, having permission to go to New Japan and fighting over there in his free time, and giving complete freedom to do what he wanted, when he wanted, come and go whenever he wanted, how do you think when his time for possibly consideration for the WWE Hall of Fame, how do you think that's going to go? And will Jericho accept it? Basically, in short, do you think Jericho kind of rubs shit all over his WWE career by just out of the blue going to the new competition? But either way, stay cool as always. See you boys later. Let me know.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Rich. I think that Chris Jericho will be just fine. I think that other wrestlers have come back after having done a lot worse. However, I don't think there's a chance in hell that he will be back with WWE until... like, for example, it's not like he's going to be with AEW and they're going to say, hey, do you want to come out and do Hall of Fame? That'll never happen. No. I don't even think contractually he's allowed to do that.
No, probably not.
But no, he will be, once his contract is complete with AEW, if he elects not to re-sign, I can see him going back to WWE for a spell. If it's for a Hall of Fame thing, sure. But yeah, no, I think he'll be fine. I think Vince generally likes when people take their own initiative and do what they can to make they're a lot better in life. I don't think he harbors ill will towards Chris Jericho. I'd be surprised if he did.
And at the end of the day, if Vince thinks he can make money from bringing somebody back, he will.
Yeah, exactly. And Chris Jericho will be a huge name to
end
come
of the
back
day, that's the primary thing for Vince.
Yeah.
He's had falling outs that are far worse than whatever falling out, if such a thing even occurred, with Jericho, that things have been patched over.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And they will look forward to working relationship. So, no, I don't think he's ruined anything. You're not going to see him back on WWE programming at all until after AEW. You're right. Just contractually, it's probably not the case. And I don't think WWE. Hell, they took him out of his one little shot and now forever.
Even noticed. I don't notice anybody in those.
They took his one little shot out of there.
Yeah.
When he's announced he signed AEW.
Yeah.
So I think we can keep him in that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
To a degree, but also he was a company for like 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
Next question from Gatlin T.
This is the Firefly Funhouse newest puppet, Gatlin T. And my question is, what is the wrestling landscape gonna look like in 5 years? Are we gonna hit another massive wrestling boom period? With stuff like New Japan Pro Wrestling, NWA Power, AEW, WWE. Are we going to hit another massive wrestling is everything, this is so awesome? Or is it going to go out all in a whimper with half these promotions closing down? Thank you guys. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Gatlin T.
Thank you, Gatlin. Yeah.
I don't really feel like we're too terribly different. I think the
So it's changed a lot over the last 24 months.
Yeah, it has. But I mean, are there any other billionaires or billionaire families who are looking to start a wrestling promotion anytime soon?
I mean, the only
Probably
question
not.
is AEW still going to be solvent?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's the only question.
That's kind of the X factor. But I mean, I don't see that. Regardless of how great AEW is, NXT, if WWE gets their creative in gear, I just don't see wrestling having another boom period like the Attitude Era. Entertainment is ingested in vastly different ways now than it ever was. There's way more options for people. A vast number of platforms by which to ingest entertainment. I just think the way technology and entertainment structured, it just, let's say it's entirely impossible. I just feel like it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I don't see what more could be done. I mean, I think one thing that you might see is, so right now there's not a lot of unsigned talent. There is not a lot of unsigned talent. It's entirely possible that with AEW doing what it's doing, with NXT doing what it's doing, and WWE, you might be, right now is when the people who are going to be in the position that all those people who are getting signed up now, the Jungle Boys, the Marco Stunts, the MJFs, they're learning. They're just starting out. Mm-hmm. They're just starting their path right now.
Well, they're learning how to wrestle on television.
If there are people, I'm saying the people. Okay, let me back up and rephrase this. MJF 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Where was he?
He's probably in wrestling school.
Right. Right now, AEW, and even NXT, given how diverse the modern day pro wrestler is, sizes, shapes, styles, AEW, New Japan, WWE, NXT might be inspiring a whole new generation of wrestlers who are like, oh wow, it doesn't have to be giant big men anymore. I can do it too. We saw that video with that dude doing that crazy
destroyer
thing,
thing,
turn into a destroyer.
Yeah.
So 5 years from now, we're probably going to get a whole new crop of people who are inspired by what's going on in wrestling today, and we might see a healthier independent pool.
Oh, entirely possible. People see what the Young Bucks managed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
What Joey
yeah.
Ryan have done.
Yeah,
and
with the spirit of independence, with the idea that I don't need the WWE, but that's an option. So I hopefully we'll see that. We'll see maybe more thriving, because right now the independent scene is a bit depleted. Like everybody's getting signed, So yeah, I took the scenic route on that one. I apologize. Let's move on.
Yeah, Guion Halili, Jacksonville's number
one.
Hey, friendos. This is Jacksonville's number one Matt Chatter, Guion Halili, back with another Matt Chat question. I don't have anything that has to do with any of the shows or promotion this week. So my question's going to be, create the perfect one-night show. You can pick anyone from any roster, from any promotion, anything. But create the perfect one-night show. The catch is, after that performer performs in your one-night show, they have to retire for the rest of their life. You can't use legends. You got to use current and upcoming. All right. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Later, guys.
Thank you, Guion.
Thank you, Guion. Man, you booked a really good card.
I know. That's great.
I like your card. I'll toss out a match here. Triple H versus Dustin Rhodes.
It's good. Not Cody, but Dustin. I don't
want Cody to retire.
Exactly. I know we both took the same approach of taking wrestlers who are probably in the tail end of their career anyways.
Well, yeah, of course.
All right. We can alternate. from the bottom and go to the top of the card.
Go ahead.
Hardcore match, kick things off. PCO versus Nick Gage.
Oh, is Nick Gage ready to retire?
He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, he did a stint too, though. So he was off the. His body was being refreshed while in the pokey. But that's a good one. That's a good one. Randy Orton versus John Cena. That's got to be your
Nick
headliner.
Gage is only 39. Wow, I thought he was older than that.
It's a hard life right there, man.
Sorry, you said
Randy Orton versus John Cena. That's got to be the main event.
Oh, you want that? Oh, we're going straight to the main event now. I was
gotta
going to
be
go
the main
backwards.
event.
I have Randy Orton taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi.
That's a good one. That's a kill. Let's make it a triple threat. Tanahashi, Randy Orton, John
Why
Cena.
didn't put John Cena? Because he said no part-timers, no legends.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I put John Cena.
All right, fine. Go ahead. Next match.
Vince McMahon versus Brock Lesnar.
All right.
Vince would get murdered.
Yeah, he would.
Literally, you'd see a death in the ring.
Tag match. Matt and Jeff Hardy taking on Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian.
Oh,
They got a ton left in the
I don't
tank.
want them to retire.
I don't either.
The Hardys don't want to retire.
I don't want.
How about this? The Hardys versus the Rock and Roll Express.
No, Hardys versus Daniels Kazarian. No, they got tons left in the tank. Daniels Kazarian do, but they've had a long and successful career.
AJ Styles versus Jeff Jarrett.
All right. Minoru Suzuki versus Brock Lesnar.
That's a good one. Your AJ one is way better than mine.
Anyways, did you go through all yours? You did. AJ Styles versus Dr. Wagner Jr.
That's a good one. But then Dr. Wagner doesn't actually retire.
No.
All right, next from the Enforcer, Stevie Bradley. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, what's up, Steven Larson and all the friendos out there? It's the Enforcer here with the Matt Chat question. And I want to talk about announcers, and I want to talk about who possibly could be the first to jump ship, maybe go from WWE to AEW or vice versa, and actually be a game changer. Could Michael Cole go to AEW and succeed, or is he so ingrained in WWE that he just wouldn't know what to do? And would that change anything? Would Shivani going to WWE change anything? Would JR coming back? Would Excalibur going over there do anything? Would Nigel McGuinness asking for a release and joining AEW? Or is this all just in my head and it really doesn't move the needle? Because you sort of grow an attachment and a relationship to the announcer. That's why I love AEW, because those are the voices of my childhood. But anyway, movement for announcers, color commentary, would that move the needle one way or the other? Or does it even really matter? All right, guys, too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Enforcer.
Thank you, Enforcer.
Oh, I go first. You're right. No one will move the needle of their announcers. Mm-hmm. I mean, as much as they enhance the story being told in the ring, if they're good, as much as they can make the product better, I don't think anybody is going to stop watching WWE because Corey Graves left. You know. That being said, most likely, I feel like to jump ship now is Tom Phillips.
That's a great answer.
Maybe because he's mad that he went from doing play-by-play on SmackDown to
what did he do,
going
man?
to NXT UK.
Who did he piss off?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I know.
He's so good.
He's really good.
I'm gonna look. I need to get back on watching UK. I probably will. But man, it's like, it's funny because like when you think about it, it's like it's not that big of a deal. It's like, man, he gets to enjoy the UK, but it's like he's being sent to Siberia or something.
Well, he's working once a month now.
Yeah.
Instead of being out there on SmackDown every week, he flies out maybe 2 days a month, 2 or 3 days a month.
Yeah, but young guys like that, they're all about the hustle, and that's what you got to do. He's going to be doing a lot of nothing. That's horrible. That's a good answer, though. Yeah, he'll definitely leave. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody moves the needle. There's no way Michael Cole's going to that. I'm guaranteeing that dude has stock options.
Well, not only is that, but like he's really involved in NXT.
Yeah, he's like super deep in everything.
He's more likely to retire before going anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Next question from B-Man, Patrick Sparks.
The B-Man.
Hey, friendos, Pat here. All right, question this week is WWE's obviously signing everybody up, and they're going to keep doing that. So, alternate universe where SCU got signed to the WWE. What would their ceiling be as SCU together as a faction? What about all of them as singles wrestlers, and as Daniels and Kazarian as the Addiction as a tag team? What would all the ceilings be, and how do you think that would go? Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man.
You got to go first this time.
All right. So I think they'd be like the tag team divisions somewhere. I don't know, it'd be NXT. Maybe, I guess it'd be NXT. They'd be the tag team version of Cassius Ohno. Sort of like you see Cassius Ohno using NXT and they send him to UK. They really just, man, can just give him like one Mania moment or something.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the Andre the Giant thing. Mm-hmm. Golly. So they'd be that. They'd be the guys who are basically there to be getting over young talent, but not in a jobber way. Because they book Cassius Ohno pretty strong.
Yeah, they do.
They have him win matches, but then that's only so that when it counts, he can lose matches. I know he's got one against Tyler Bate at some point. Maybe it's today or this past week or coming up. And
really give someone that rub.
I'm taking a guess. He's probably going to lose that one because he's won.
He beat Ilya Dragunov.
He beat Ilya. He beat Sid Scala, which wasn't a big deal, but the way they booked the matches were really cool. Mm-hmm. Those were really, really neat. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to say that they would be like the tag team version of Cassius Ohno.
I think that's what I was trying to get at with my answer. I put the Lorcan and Birch, like their spot in NXT.
Sure.
Where people like them a lot. They consistently put on really, really good matches. Mm-hmm. They might get a title shot here and there, but you're not under any illusions they were going to win those titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel like. Scorpio Sky, though, he's kind of the exception because he seems like he's got, like at the very least, he's like NXT North American champion.
Oh, at the very least. I was referring exclusively to Daniels and Kazarian.
Yes.
Scorpio Sky, the sky is the limit. Yeah, he's
next level, man. He's great. He's fantastic. Yeah, he can be a huge star.
Big time.
Question next from Willism.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Stephen Larson, this is Willism coming at you with another Matt Chat question. So this week, I want to see what you guys can do to book a heel versus heel feud, both in AEW and another one in WWE. Any other brands, any of the heels on that board. The reason why I bring this up is this week on AEW, one of the best matches I've seen in a long time that had so many different minor story beats to it was the Omega and Hangman versus Pac and Mox match. So much going on in that match between the betrayal at the end, the lead up to it, between how the heels want to conduct their heelness, and then also just Omega descending down into that darker place with Mox for that minute. It was all those little moments that made that match spectacular. So I want to see what you guys can do. Book a good heel versus heel feud for each AEW and any of the WWE brands. Too sweet, hearty handshake coming from your pal Willism. Take care, fellas.
Thank you, Willism.
Thank you, Willism.
Adam Cole versus AJ Styles. You get the Undisputed Era taking on the OC.
Again, man, these are really good ideas here. I like it.
That'd be great. Right yourself, full of former Bullet Club members.
Boom.
Got their own factions. You get some factions going at it. Mm-hmm. AJ and Adam Cole going at it.
Who's
best faction?
Who would be the guy that joins?
Who jumps ship?
AJ Styles' crew.
Oh, make it Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Also, Drew McIntyre versus Samoa Joe as a heel versus heel feud.
People would love that.
Man, the mic work alone would be worth it.
They'd love it.
It'd be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. AEW, Pac versus Jericho. Pac versus Jericho.
That's
for
good
the title.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be great.
I've got. What if they treated this as not a joke? Baron Corbin versus Brock Lesnar.
Instantly, I already feel like it's a joke because Baron Corbin's in it.
What if they treated it like it wasn't a joke, though? Baron Corbin versus Brock Lesnar. Isn't Baron on SmackDown now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that going.
I mean, as much as I like Baron, I still have a hard time taking him completely seriously.
Yeah, me too. But he won King of the Ring.
But Brock can just give him like the most monstrous roll up in history, and Baron would be done.
When's the last time you saw Brock Lesnar try to do it?
Wouldn't be something else? You had a match against Baron and won by roll up.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be great. Awesome. That'd be Brock paying attention.
I like this. Bayley versus Mandy Rose.
All right.
That's a good one.
All right.
And then, look, I know he's not really a heel, MJF.
He will be again someday.
He kind of is. Him versus Jack Swagger. What if he turns on Cody, joins Inner Circle, and then turns again to fight? Not really turns, but like goes up against Jack Swagger. Like people hate MJF, but then he starts beefing with Jack Swagger. People don't like Jack Swagger, Hager, whatever his name is. That'd be awesome. I think
that'd be cool.
That'd be good.
Next, got a question. This one's fun. From Christopher Rampersad.
Yeah, man.
Hello, Stephen Larson. So today I was thinking of something fun and entertaining question. So this Tuesday, obviously, the Clippers versus the Lakers, a very big game. So I was thinking, let's have a WWE style match. I was thinking somebody on LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, like a tag team match. So let's do like probably 6-man. Somebody on LeBron's team, a current superstar and a Hall of Famer / legend, versus somebody on Kawhi's team, a current superstar and a legend or a Hall of Famer. I think this would be a fun question. You guys decide. Have fun with your fantasy draft. Whoever's going to win this Tuesday is going to be fun. Go Clippers. Sorry, LeBron.
Thank you, Christopher. This is a good question. So I got Team Kawhi. You get Team LeBron.
Yes.
So this is my 3-man tag team. Got Kawhi Leonard. He's not exactly known to be a people person. Mm-hmm. He's a bit of a curmudgeon. So I've tried to find 2 like-minded individuals, at least character-wise, to join him. First up, Pete Dunn. Mm-hmm. He's a bit of a curmudgeon. Mm-hmm. Not exactly known as a people person.
Is Kawhi? Yeah, I guess, is he known as a curmudgeon? He just seems like he's
Aloof.
lacking. Yeah. That's a good word.
That's the word I actually thought of earlier, and I neglected to mention.
Mirthless.
Just aloof.
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly call Pete Dunn aloof, but he is a curmudgeon.
Oh, I could see. No, he's in the same personality grouping as Kawhi Leonard.
Potentially.
Sure. Yeah.
And then for the legend, I got Brock Lesnar.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't like anybody.
No, he doesn't like anybody.
He doesn't like anybody.
He likes land.
He likes land.
Soil.
Yeah. So it'd be a pretty mirthless squad. Mm-hmm. They would have to be the heels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my team.
Well, LeBron, of course, is the GOAT. He only associates with other GOATs. John Cena, GOAT. In fact, they were in a movie together. It was called Trainwreck. They were the best things about it.
Far and away.
It'd be awesome if they did a buddy comedy. And, of course, budding movie star Roman Reigns, another guy that people look back on and be like, who is this generation's GOAT? Probably Roman Reigns. Maybe Seth Rollins. Maybe Seth would be more appropriate here, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns because they want him to be the next Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Team GOAT. LeBron, Cena, Roman. Boom. Wins.
Team Grumpy wins. Next, I got a couple text questions here. First from Joshua Martinez. Who should AEW try and sign to the women's division? I feel they need a big name. Mercedes Martinez.
That's a great name.
That is a good name.
She was on the thing.
She was at the Battle Royal. The last.
Yeah, that's
All Out.
right. Yeah,
she was in that.
I'm going to say Alison Kay, the current NWA Women's Champion. She was Sienna in Impact. I think she's absolutely terrific. She had a really great showing in the Mae Young Classic against Mia Yim. Mia Yim won. Now she's, a big NXT deal. Alison Kay doing really good things on NWA Power. But I think it'd be absolutely terrific if AEW signed her. I think it'd be great.
Yes.
What about you?
Mako Satomura.
Great
Talk
name.
about his son. Had a great showing in the last Mae Young Classic.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, she's phenomenal.
Terrific.
And also Tessa Blanchard.
Everybody should want her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, at some point, Impact's going to go out of business, and then she can,
Or just not want to pay out all the money they need to keep their really good talent.
Right, exactly. World will be her oyster.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I think she's still pretty young. She's in her early 20s, I think,
yeah,
right?
Dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
She can do big, big things.
Yep. And finally, the Hadley Doodley champ has a question. Says this week's question comes from Going in Raw's residential pizza expert Arma. Question is, create a presidential cabinet using only members of the WWE loser locker room. So we kind of divided up, about a half dozen cabinet positions each.
And we went back in time to various loser locker room legends as well as today's loser locker room.
Yeah.
So first, Health and Human Services director, I guess. Drake Maverick. Of course, he's trying to smash.
Oh, okay.
So I figure that, you get the guy who is probably well-educated in smashing in preparation for the eventual time when he will smash.
Yeah.
So that's him. You go next.
Okay. For Secretary of State, I don't know why I thought him, Bo Dallas.
Okay, sure.
So, he's in some tense negotiations over a treaty or something, and it comes to stalemate. He says, look at me.
Yeah.
You just have to
believe. Yeah, that's good. Secretary of Education, Titus O'Neil.
Good.
He has delivered a TED Talk.
True.
So I think he's the man to lead the education department.
For Secretary of Defense, Corporal Kirshner.
That's good. That's good.
Going way back.
That is going way back.
Yeah.
That is going way back. Housing and Urban Development, Heath Slater. He's got kids.
Yeah.
Nobody knows more about housing and urban development than the guy with a trailer, a double wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, than Heath Slater.
Secretary of Treasury, EC3. It's top 1%.
Oh, yeah, top 1%. There you go. That's fine. That's good. Secretary of Agriculture, Trevor Murdoch. I know he was in a tag team with Lance Kay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at some point towards the tail end before he got released, he was in the loser's locker room. I'm going to say Trevor Murdoch. He just looks like he knows about agriculture, farming, farm animals, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. For Department of Homeland Security, I put Curtis Axel. No real reason. He's got a tough-sounding name.
Well, they have to coordinate with state to get
that's
things
true.
done.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, there's
some integration there.
I mean, here's the thing. Right now, Homeland Security and state, I wish we had a B team because right now it's like the G team.
It's
the
a
Z
letter
team.
in the 20s, man.
It is. Let's see here. Secretary of Labor. I'm going to go with Zach Ryder. That guy is a real worker.
Mm-hmm.
He's a workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around for a long time.
True.
You need somebody who can appreciate good labor.
Yeah. Secretary of the Interior, I got Sarah Logan. She seems to like the outdoors.
Sure, yeah, that's good. Isn't that funny how the Secretary of Interior deals with the outdoors? I don't know. Anyways, and then Secretary of Energy, Ryback.
Unlimited Energy.
He sells energy pills or something like that.
Well, it's like workout supplements.
Workout
So
supplements.
one of his several catchphrases was unlimited energy.
Unlimited.
He used to have an airbrush in his tights.
Unlimited energy.
And that's
all
it.
good stuff.
That's the show.
Good stuff. Yeah. Anyways,
That's all.
That's all we got today. If you want to be part of Matt Chat, you can on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. $20 a month gets you there. Until next time, talk to you later.
Bye.